So here we are, brothers. We're in the air. We're podcasting. We're transmitting. We're recording.
From my backyard.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's cool.
You know, my parents planted most of all this green stuff, and I was like, why are you guys doing that? He goes,
Just for this.
Exactly.
For
He's like,
moments
you're going
like
to enjoy
this.
this one day.
Yeah.
Exactly for this, my brother.
And it's actually pretty cool.
Do you dig this thing?
I enjoy that. You know I'm picking that up.
He said he can pick one of these guys up for a couple $100. I go, dude, go grab that thing like
I am.
ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah.
These things are amazing, dude. So what's going on, Wizard? Man, that set you did, brother.
No. Wait, hold on. Let me say it this way.
Hey.
The sets that you guys did was impressive.
My set was cool, but the more impressive thing was you jumping on with George's vinyl that you didn't even know. You just saw it and grabbed whatever and killed it.
He didn't even know the titles. He was like, you know what?
I have
Let
no
me
idea,
make.
bro.
I just saw him switching. I was like,
I don't
hey.
know if he was going by titles
No,
or
dude,
by,
but top it off.
by-
You know, I told you this morning when I walked in, I can't see nothing, right? My eyesight is terrible, so I'm
Yeah.
like just grabbing records.
Yeah, aquí llegó ciego. He's like,
Dude.
you have an extra pair of glasses? I'm
He's all like doing it by feel. I'm like, what are you feeling the record for? You're not.
Do you
gonna be
have
able to read the
records
label.
on Braille? Because
Hey, dude, the Wizard goes, dude, that's the jam. I go, I didn't even know, bro.
yeah,
Remember when
he put on Volver,
Oh,
the
yeah.
remix. And then he's hearing it. He goes, I didn't even know it was that song. I'm like, dude, he was just
I was
picking.
waiting for you to run across the Sesame Street one, which was coming up next. It was a little bit further in
Yeah,
that crate.
dude, I'm telling you, bro. That was, and you know what? That's the first time that kind of got a little bit, my temperature went up. So now,
Dude,
you know,
but you didn't even look like you were sweating at
you know
all.
what? I always see the vinyl guys doing vinyl sets. Some of those guys are just pouring sweat, right?
Yeah, they got a
and,
towel.
Yeah, and I can see why.
They're doing the Carl Cox. They got
Right,
that, They got the
exactly.
towel and they're like sweating up a
They're
storm.
precipitating.
Yeah, dude.
I,
so
I was impressed. I honestly, from my vantage, from my point of view, I've seen a lot. Again, I'm going to make a very kind of a bold statement here, but I see vinyl guys that say they know how to mix vinyl. No. What you guys did today, you guys not only know how to mix, but you guys can mix on vinyl. And I always say this, vinyl is unforgiving.
Yeah.
If you miss your break, your spot, there's no place to
But
loop.
but the thing is too, like what we were trying to do, I know I did, and I don't know if that was George's plan, but you know, we played a lot of songs in that hour.
Oh, you did? No.
We weren't waiting for that break 7
No,
minutes
no.
later.
No,
We're
no.
waiting for that break in 7 minutes. We're gonna play 6 songs for the set.
right.
No, we were like boom, boom,
Chop,
boom.
chop.
And-
There was a mix. Remember the one George and I looked at each other while you were mixing, and we're like, wait a minute. He's mixing those suckers. You let that sucker ride, and it was riding, and George was just like nodding
Oh,
his
I
head.
got to
like,
hear that on the
yeah,
recording. I don't
yes,
even know what
yes.
that was.
It was like he was about to have a moment. It was like, yes, and then like everybody here, because most of the people sitting at this table are DJs, and all of a sudden they're all like, they're just sitting there listening.
And you know what? We do have a yard full of DJs right now, brother.
Yeah, this is
Legendary.
so
Can we
cool.
let the people know exactly who's here right now?
Shoot,
About-
we have Peebo,
Legendary, dude.
legendary,
Wayne Lyons just arrived. Who's
legendary,
gonna drop a set?
Silver in the mix,
Silver in the mix. We got John Torres from Back to Disco. We got
Jaime Delgado,
Jaime Delgado from the San Fernando Valley Champagne Promotions. We got Andrew D from Does Your Mama Know? They brought Edgar from Does Your Mama Know? It's like, who
Wow.
else is here?
These guys are legendary, brother.
That's how we do it
You
here,
mentioned
bro.
Peeble, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Pete was here, bro.
Dude, and Silver in there's just like, look at him. He's just dancing up a storm, and he's like, nope, not this one. Nope, not that one. And he's just sitting there picking records like,
That guy is badass.
yeah,
dude.
that bro, he is. I
Yeah.
mean, look. Every single person here in their own right is badass. I can literally say that. And you know what? I've been doing this enough time, and I guess I am a good, I guess I can actually judge DJs now, I guess.
Okay.
Not rate them. I can judge them, I guess. I mean, and they know how to
Yeah.
mix and how to do this stuff. I mean, I can honestly tell you if it's a good DJ or not, and you guys are all badass.
Thank you.
I mean, we do have a lot of good DJs just cruise through here, my brother.
But you know what else? I got to add this. Not only is it DJ, but that vinyl, that music in there is badass too.
Yeah.
All the music is in there badass.
Yeah.
I mean, I was digging and digging, brother.
Everybody so far, we got 3 DJs that have already played, and everybody just brought it, man. It's just like, you know,
I got
that vinyl and you know the stuff that we've been playing is hopefully you guys will tune in and it'll be on Mixcloud.
Where-
It'll be relaunched.
Yeah, how can they find the mix there, George T?
Okay, so there's 2-3 different places. We can actually sample part of it, I guess, on Facebook. You know how they do. They're going to cut us off. And, the beauty of this is they haven't really dropped us too many times. And I guess it's because they don't really have 90s.
Yeah, but somebody was telling me that they're pitching us like
like
really
crazy?
bad.
Okay.
Really bad.
All right.
Oh, they're doing that chipmunk stuff.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
they're really pitching us.
So you can hear it live. You can see it live right now, which is if you guys are listening to this after the show, you guys will be able to hear the replay on Mixcloud, and that's under AllGrooveHouse. So you'll see it posted up probably the next day. Now the beauty of this is Twitter actually records the entire session,
Really?
and it does not no pitch, no up and down, no nothing, and they literally, if you want to go back and see these guys actually mix. You guys can look it up. It's AllGrooveHouse. I'm sorry. It's Twitter/AllGrooveHouse.com.
Oh, okay. And they keep the video too, or just
The
audio
video.
only? Wow.
Now Mixcloud Live and Twitch.tv, those are saved also, or
Twitch doesn't save, it just streams. So anytime you have any kind of copyrighted material, it actually kind of gets rid of the actual content. So we're not really, I just stream through them so people could see us. And then on Mixcloud, no video, just the audio.
okay.
And with her, it's very interesting to me that you never own a set of turntables.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
You never wanted to buy some?
She never
Let me ask you this. Were you playing so much that you didn't really need them?
What? Yeah. Anytime I played somewhere, or if I were to go, when I first started DJing, got interested in DJing, I was a senior in high school, and Uncle Jam's Army came to play for the senior lunch, and I was a hard rocker. I was a rocker.
So you were KMET, KOS.
I used to wear all the concert jerseys
Did
and
you
all
have a
that.
mullet, long hair?
No, the mullet came in the disco days.
Oh, damn.
But
Hair all
yeah,
feathered back.
I was just like,
So let me ask you this, Paul, before you get to the to that part.
The REO Speedwagon t-shirt.
What hair band did you go see in the 80s?
Oh, wait a minute.
but that's another thing
I was
too.
gonna say, that's a different genre.
I really didn't even go to concerts either.
You didn't go to the US Festival?
There would be times I would find out where the band was performing,
What?
and I would go to that venue
to buy the shirt.
buy the knockoff shirts in the street.
Yeah, because everybody on Monday would show up to school with the concert
Yeah.
shirts, right? That was
Yeah.
the thing.
You know the biggest one I remember? I was in middle school, and for those about to rock the ACDC concert shirts, blue sleeves, black shirt, with a big old cannon on it for those about to rock. And I used to love ACDC back in those days, man. I used to be into so much heavy metal.
Yeah, so Uncle Jam's Army came down, and of course, it was Bobcat and Egyptian Lover, everybody, and they were just scratching and mixing, and I was just like, I got interested, and I went all the way up to the stage, went behind the rope, and just started staring and watching, and I got interested right away.
Mm-hmm.
So then, 2 houses down from my parents' house, Connie and Joey, who were Party People Productions, had a system in their garage. And when they would be out there practicing during the week or after work, whatever, I would go down there and, hey, can I jump on there? And they're like, yeah, go for it. And then I just started being a pain in the ass and going there every day, knocking the door, even if they weren't practicing. Can I open the garage and practice?
No way.
I didn't even own vinyl yet.
Okay.
My first vinyl record that I bought was I'm Ready from Kano.
Oh,
And I bought it
Great
at,
song.
I bought it at Woolworth.
12
Lauren
inch?
Canyon?
Woolworth. No, in the mall. That was in the mall right there.
Oh, San Fernando. Okay.
They had 12 inch singles, or you bought the album?
They had a little rack, like a spin rack, that had maybe total 20 records.
Okay.
And they had 12 inches, and I was like, oh, what's this all about? I got it. And
Did you know what you were buying?
I actually heard it at a party that I went to in Sun Valley, and I'm like, what is that?
Right.
And I went and asked, and they told me, oh, I'm Ready, Kano. And then I saw it at Woolworth. I'm like, oh, hello.
Dude, that's one of the greatest intro, right? Kano?
What was the first vinyl you bought?
That was Meeting in the Ladies' Room.
Climax.
Wow.
Climax was my first one.
Nice.
At Music Plus in San Gabriel on Valley Boulevard.
So
My first 12 inch.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I
What
remember
about you?
Nice and Wild, Diamond Girl.
Oh, nice.
Where'd you
Nice.
buy that?
Geez, I think it was Warehouse. Was it Warehouse Records or Tower? One of the two. I think it was Tower.
Out here in the valley, we used to go to the
It was
warehouse.
Tower?
The warehouse in Burbank, and then we go to Tower in Panorama City.
And that's still that building. Every time I drive by there, it just kind of flashbacks. I mean, I wish I could just paint that sucker yellow again.
It's that shoe store now. That
Yeah, I know.
WWS or whatever.
So did they have a good selection of 12
They had
inch?
a massive selection of 12-inch
The
records.
Tower, yeah, because I believe at that one was Manuel. His name was Manuel. Was the record buyer, and that guy was knowledgeable.
So did those record shops work like that, where there was a guy that would buy the vinyl that was at that store, or they were like just sent?
Well, Tower was more like a
It was commercial.
a lot of rock, Journey.
So
and
where
all
was
that.
where was the DJ place in the valley?
There, well,
Like we had Exodus in Montebello, right?
yeah,
well,
I
well,
went out there. The DMC records,
I personally would drive out to Hollywood
Yep.
to Prime Cuts,
right?
DMC,
Yep.
Cut Above.
Yeah.
What was that record
Street
shop?
Sounds.
What was that record shop in Santa Monica over by Peanuts? Did you ever go up there?
Oh, the one
That's-
up on the second floor.
No, that was the first floor.
No,
but
that was Prime Cuts.
that's one place
It
I
was
used to.
on-
I
it
used to
was
go
on
get
Santa
house.
Monica,
Yeah,
down the street from that Triple X
Right,
movie theater.
right.
Yeah, that was
I w-
Prime Cuts. I worked there for
At the Triple X
myself.
place?
Yeah. Myself
explain
and
that, right?
Teddy Q. Myself and Teddy Q worked there for like about 2-3 years at Prime Cuts, even before they closed.
Do you remember the name of? So in the San Fernando Mall, and they actually had a record store. They
Yeah,
actually had
Bizarre.
Yeah, and then it became Sam Goody's or something like that right after that.
Oh, no, wait, which one are you talking about?
No, but it was not San Fernando Mall. Montebello Town Center actually had a record store that actually became,
yeah, they did. They have a record shop. They had a record shop.
and
in
then it
Montebello.
became Sam Goody.
Oh, yeah, I know. I don't remember the name
But
of
there
it.
was bad.
They
I
used
saw
to sell the
Stacey Q there.
T-shirts,
Yeah.
rock T-shirts and all that there.
Yeah, that was a good spot.
But what was cool in San Fernando, like, there wasn't no record store. And then we would
so
go
you,
to
so
Hollywood.
you guys didn't have anything in the valley,
No.
really?
We had to drive all the way over to where you guys were at just to find some stuff.
We would go to Exodus.
Wow.
I knew Bert over there, and what was his name? Mondo, and Manuel, and Henry De La Peña from Wings started working there,
Okay.
and he was
So
house to the bone.
So who was the house DJ at Wings in the?
Henry,
Wings was badass.
Henry
Was he
De La
there in
Peña.
the late '80s, early
Yeah,
'90s?
That was
Yeah.
his spot. He was a resident.
He
And
was
then-
one of the best clubs.
I used to go there
cleanest
Fridays.
clothes, yeah.
Friday was the bomb.
One of the
And
Keys
then
closed.
he went over to Giggles in Glendale.
That's
Yeah,
where I
Wings.
met. That's where I met my wife.
Wings?
Wings.
Oh,
That's
Well, I
nice.
mean, I knew her from back in the days in the disco scene, but that's where we ran into each other. Man.
That's
and
crazy.
You would drive to
and
win.
she claims to throw away. She threw my number away that night.
Nah.
She memorized it.
And then I ran into her at Circus because that was, it was Friday night at Wings, Saturday night at Circus. That was every weekend.
Okay.
So here
You
she
sure you
comes.
were going on a Saturday night and not a Friday night?
No, dude. No.
He was
Okay.
going Wednesdays.
No.
Oh.
So one night I was at Circus. Here comes some girl wearing all white,
Mm.
and I go, oh, and that was her.
She's like, I already threw your number away once.
She's like, I lost your number, but here you are. Give it to me
Yeah,
again.
but
boomerang.
Wings was amazing place
I
to.
love
Dude, I
Wings.
loved Wings. Was one of the best places ever.
I loved Wings.
The music was on point, sound system. I mean, everything was on point there.
I mean, look, if you really want to start talking about clubs, I can. Some of the baddest clubs I've ever seen and been to was Hong Kong Cafe,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wings, what is it? Mr. J's in Hollywood. Did you guys ever go to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar Salinas and Aaron Arcee were the residents.
Badass clubs. And
Club
then
47.
we also had the Montebello, the one in Montebello as well.
Club 47.
Club Massage.
the
That was
shit.
I played a club.
Visage, love that
I
place.
played at Club Massage.
That was good. Did
Yeah,
you?
I was a DJ there.
And of course, QC's Montebello.
Yeah, but you know, I'd rather go to Visage than QC because
Yeah,
the DJ,
Visage-
the
Visage,
DJ at QC's was a little bit too much for me sometimes.
Dude, we used to have
Century
we had
Club.
Noel there. We had all the
Dude, it was a
artists play
great
there,
freaking
dude.
place. It's a laundromat now, right?
Yeah, it's a laundromat now.
Wow.
Yeah, every time I drive by there, it just fucking brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah, that's the first.
Oh, that
my
was the
wife
one
and-
down the hill, right?
That was
from
our-
QC's?
My wife and I
Well-
went there on our first date to Visage.
That
Oh, can I
place,
tell you a story real quick about the Visage?
Before Visage, that used to be a 70s club,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
disco club, and it was called Pantera Rosa,
Oh, that's Pantera Rosa?
the Pink Panther.
Dude, my dad used to go to the Pantera Rosa,
Henry,
so I know.
Henry Valdez was
Yeah.
a hustler,
Only
hustle
the
dancer.
only players would go to Pantera. The players hang out, dude.
Our place out here for that was El Gato. Which was that?
That was my
that was the
first
players
club.
hangout.
Oh,
Right
bro.
here, it's down the street,
Dude,
down the
it's
street
two-
from George.
Literally 2 blocks over, like 2 streets over.
But is it a players hangout?
It was dude.
That was
Expose played there one night, and then it was funny because that night I was there. There was a group called the New Breeze or something from Valley College.
Yep.
So Expose played, and they had the original singer then, and then New Breeze came on, and she killed it.
Yeah, one of their
And that was-
songs. One
then
of
she
their
became
one of
the-
their
the-
songs during their set. They're called Soto now. It's the Soto Brothers. But back in this time in the 80s, they were called New Breeze, and they had Jeanette Gerardo was their singer, and Point of No Return was one of their songs in their set.
The cover songs, yeah.
Their cover songs, and Ali, which was the original singer from Expose, I think she was leaving the group. I don't know if she got married or pregnant or something, but she was already leaving the group. So a couple of the people from the label showed up because they heard that Jeanette sang the song like great. And they came and they performed it, and she got picked up.
Right on the spot.
Yeah, right there on the spot. They were
Really?
like, boom,
Yeah.
we're picking you up. And that's where she got her start with Expose.
Oh.
And I'm 16 years old at a 21 and over club, which is right down the street from my house.
I was 19, resident DJ there.
So going back to the turntable thing, why didn't you buy your own set of 1200s, brother?
I don't know.
Never
I
had a
just
need.
didn't. Probably didn't
So
have the
you
money.
had.
Do you want to know how I learned how to mix?
Well, I mean,
one
we're right here.
turntable.
This thing's gonna be on YouTube. So
Oh, you're
One
doing this?
turntable with no pitch control,
okay,
and one cassette deck with a pitch control.
okay.
And there was a way that I figured out putting a matchbox.
Of course you did.
I'm sorry.
Of course you did.
Matchbox cover, a little piece of matchbox, and I would squeeze it into the balance, and the left channel would be the turntable, the right channel would be the cassette deck.
And you figured this all on your own.
Yep. just messing around, and I figured it out, and that's how I learned how to.
Dude, you're making it sound like he started mixing
Wait a
on,
minute.
like on stone tablets.
Dude.
Like he's sitting there,
Hey, George T, I know that the Wizard had a name in mind before the Wizard. I would be curious to know what was that
Okay,
name.
no, this is the story. Jaime Delgado is here. That,
Right.
Like I said, that's from Champaign. My first group I joined. Well, when I bought a crate of records, where is Jaime?
You know, like, we're gonna bring him in next. Bring him in. Well, we need another headphones. We need headphones.
We need
that's
to
why.
get some headphones. Try to get some headphones.
Oh, we're trying to get some headphones. Hey, you can use my headphones. I gotta go check on something real
Hey,
quick.
bring him over here. He can take George T's spot. Come here. Yeah, take George T's.
So Jaime Delgado is here, so he'll vouch for this story.
Okay, well, hang on. He's coming. He's making his way right here, right now. Right here, my brother.
Slap on the headphones. On that side.
We need some Wizard stories. Right here, my brother. Come on in, bro. You're gonna have to fill in some. You're gonna have to fill in some of the gaps. We have a lot of gaps here.
We
Put those headphones on.
You know I haven't done this before.
No, you're okay. You're fine, dude. You're fine.
we're
good.
You can hear us now, right?
Clear.
We're talking about they're bringing up the
We're
Wizard days.
We're
in
talking about
Champaign.
old Wizard days and Champagne days. So you're
So
gonna
I
fill
said-
in all the gaps.
So I said, he said, how did I start? What was my first record? And I said that I bought at least a crate of records where I felt that's enough to do a set.
Okay.
And I played at this house that was on Laurel Canyon across the street from Carl's Jr., which was like a party house.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to give myself a name to put on the flyer. And I called myself Fantasy.
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 Well, you
was
knew that was taken though, right? I mean, come on.
Well, here in the Valley. No. The Valley had all of LA DJ names. But, yeah, so I said, oh, fuck it.
Dude, what were the chances of Fantasy not being taken, brother? Seriously.
So, you know why I took Fantasy was because of the Fantasy record label.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'm going to call myself Fantasy just to put myself in the flyer. And Jaime showed up, who was already Champagne Promotions. And he was checking me out, and he's like, hey, you're pretty badass, you know. I got a group, Champagne, you know. We'll keep in touch. We exchange numbers. And then I saw him on Laurel Canyon, and he's like, pull over. And he's like, remember me? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you ready? You ready to join my group? I'm
So
like,
why don't you introduce
this
introduce
is
him?
Jaime. Jaime's on the microphone now. Jaime
Say hello, my
Delgado.
brother. Say hello, my brother.
People. I'm out
Get,
here.
get closer to the mic,
I'll
my
be
brother.
closer. I'm not used to this stuff. We're all
Well,
good.
you can hear yourself when
I
you're
can hear
loud.
you.
So,
We're all good.
okay, so this is the guy that put you
Put me on the map.
on the path, in the path to DJ greatness.
Yeah, yeah. If it wasn't for Jaime, because one thing about Jaime is that this guy, as a promoter, he promised me. He goes, dude, you're going to come to my group.
So
I'm going to blow you up.
Yeah.
so he was you were a promoter here in the valley.
Valley,
Yeah,
San
yeah,
Fernando
San
Valley.
Fernando.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you ever do anything in LA, or you were strictly in the valley?
No, strictly in the valley. But
Okay.
I did some parties in LA, and then I got invited to our group to Pico Rivera Sports Arena, Rock of the '80s, and we did some things in DQs and some halls.
Right.
But most of our parties were here in the valley.
Okay. So you started with just house parties at the beginning. Did you?
Yes, I loved house parties. Believe it or not,
Okay.
I enjoyed house parties.
I know you were talking about over there about some of the stories or your techniques, how you did your house party. So why don't you tell us about your techniques with the tarping and all that
Oh,
stuff you
yeah.
say you were used to do? So
Yeah, so what I wanted to do was make sure they had the party experience that was really nice, really good. So I made sure every party was tarped off, and also later on had tables with candles and made it almost like a real club, so
Yeah.
they enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
And
Jaime,
then,
you would get Danny Duran, right?
Right, Danny Duran to decorate our parties, and like I said, it was like a club. And they also used to hire off-duty police officers.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably fill me in on that
Yeah.
technique you had.
And that worked. That kept our parties going all
Yeah,
night.
because the cops would show up and the security were off duty LAPD and they're like, I got it, bro. They're like, see ya. So the parties would go on 2,
Okay.
3 in the morning.
So and then you also had a technique to stop the party, right?
Right. When if the party was going on too long, and I already know it's been at that time, I had the police officers break it up for us.
Oh, okay. So no choppers will ever show up to your party.
No. We were pretty cool with that, you know.
So you spotted Wizard and you knew that was a talented guy.
Absolutely. I heard him playing, and he was the best DJ out here in the valley. And it took him a week to convince him. He didn't take the job right away.
Oh no!
No.
Wait a minute. What?
No,
I kept that out.
it took him a week. It took him a week.
Really?
Yeah, because the first time I asked him, and he didn't seem like he was interested. He was on the fence. I think he was surprised.
Okay.
You know, and then about a week later, that's the way it really went. He asked me. He asked me if it was still on the table.
Oh.
And I said sure. You know, and the rest was history. You know,
So
he was,
did you have another DJ at that time, or this
No.
was your first?
when I first started, I didn't have a DJ yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it was strictly promotion.
Okay.
And then he says,
Wait a minute, Polly. Why were you playing hard to get, my brother? That's my. I'm trying to get that
to
down.
be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know Jaime. You know what? I knew of Jaime from high school
Okay.
because Jaime was, sports guy. He was prom king, and he was-
Really?
you
You're
were-
prom king?
All that stuff.
You were
Oh.
here a year or 2 years ahead of me in school.
Probably 2 years, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So I mean, I knew of
Okay.
Jaime. He was in
So he was a
wrestling.
very popular guy.
He was huge in high
Oh,
school.
okay.
Yeah.
I see now. Okay, I see why. I see why you draw your parties drew people. Then you
Oh, yeah.
were
No. Jaime already had a reputation. People knew of him. So him coming out as Champagne,
okay.
he already had the following. So it just domino.
So you had a whole crew, or you were just Champagne?
No, I had a small crew,
Okay.
and I just know that if I was gonna get a DJ, I wanted the best DJ.
Okay.
I mean it's the best thing to do, right?
Right.
And I think it was easy. And I did talk to Paul, and I did tell him that I did promise him that he came with us. He'd be
Did
the
Paul
best.
did Paul have both things? Did he have a look, and he sounded good, or you were more attracted to the
I
way
was
he
getting
played?
the viejas, ese. I was getting the
Was
viejas.
were you trying to get like a package deal with Paul? Was he a looker, or he was just a good DJ?
No, man. It was all for me. It was all about the music.
Okay,
That
okay.
guy-
Oh,
that-
see what I
that-
say? Oh,
No, the music. There was nobody close to him. Nobody close to him.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
he could take
Appreciate
care of
it. I
himself. But
appreciate
yeah, he was the best. And then I told you he was so good that they loved him in LA too. So I never see a DJ
Yeah.
who could
The
have the
story,
crowds on both sides.
the story that I got brought over to LA was Victor Aleman, rest in peace, my black tie.
okay.
What was her name? Pumpkin, right? That used to do the parties, her birthdays in Lakeview Terrace. Pumpkin,
Oh
her
yeah, yeah,
nickname.
yeah, yeah. I think that's her. Yeah.
Valerie, or I
Valerie,
don't remember her
yeah.
name, but she used to do. She had a huge backyard in Lakeview Terrace, and she would bring champagne and a couple other DJs all the time.
So was there another crew in the valley back then, or were you guys the main crew here?
We were the main,
Main crew. Yeah, there was crews, but we're the main crew.
Okay, so you guys were throwing the biggest parties in San Fernando Valley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
so it's still not clear on the Wizard.
Oh,
Was it because he was a good-looking guy?
No,
or
it
was it
was the
because he just
music.
knew how to play?
It was the
or was it the
skills.
music
It
selection?
was the skills.
The skill set. Okay.
Yeah, it was the
okay.
skill set. It was the music. It was the music.
So-
And it fit him. Don't get me wrong, it fit him.
Okay.
Because he did things on the turntables that nobody else could in the valley, and
Okay.
and they do
Yeah,
real
I,
good, so-
I had mentioned inside when I was doing my set that you were the one that gave me my nickname. When he brought me in, you know, first couple parties, couple weeks that I was already part of Champagne, he would stand by me all the time during my sets and just like be like, wow. He goes, you're badass, you know. And then he was like, you know what? You're so badass. You create magic behind the turntables. I'm gonna call you the Wizard.
So what it sounds to me, Paulie, is that you were just a natural, brother.
Well, I have.
I mean, some of us had to work at DJing.
No.
But it seems to me like you were kind of a natural.
It was in my blood. It was in my blood.
Okay, okay.
I mean, there's DJs till this day. I know you know who I'm going to talk about that owns equipment and still doesn't know how to mix two records together.
Okay, well, we won't talk about him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jaime knows who I'm talking about. So he doesn't have it in his blood.
Right,
There's music in my family, musicians and
right.
cousins, my grandparents.
So you were drawn to the turntables. They
Well,
called your
since-
name.
Since that day that I saw Uncle Jam's Army, something right there was like. But then when I went to Circus for the first time and saw Frank Del Rio,
Okay,
rest in peace,
okay. Rest in
how
peace.
he worked that crowd and made them scream and just, I was like, wow, I want to be like him.
You know what? I was overhearing a story over there about expose, and you putting in 6K, and you didn't know what was going to happen. So what was that all about? Can we
Yeah.
tell the people about that story?
Yeah, it was one of the first times I was gonna throw a big party with the recording artist,
Okay.
and
So how did you even? So were you a well-known promoter that they would pick up a phone call from you, or how did you manage to call expose and say, "Hey, I got a party, I want you to play at"?
you know that's a really good point. You know, I actually got the number, and I think I got them from, believe it or not, Lucky Pierre
Okay.
back in
wow.
the day. Okay, and I called them, and it was strictly a business call.
Okay.
And
And how old were you back then?
oh, geez, probably early 20s maybe.
Okay.
And I talked to them, and we started talking numbers,
Did-
and they were charging me a lot of money.
Okay.
A lot of money.
So did you talk to the manager? Or or were you talking to them directly, to the artists?
No, to the manager.
Okay. And what did the manager expect from you? Just cash?
You know, they had some money, and I thought it was a bit too expensive. So I talked to them, how about if they did two shows, my show and then somebody else in L.A. I can't remember who else I split the cost with.
Okay. So they were coming to LA to do multiple shows.
Right.
Okay. So
But
and
they
then-
did my show first
okay. And your show was where?
at the Palazzo Ballroom.
And then so you invested your own money.
Yes.
And how much was it?
It was about $6,000 for the whole cost. I'm talking about the
And
rent
this
of the
is
hall.
was this money you were raising or saving from all your house parties, or did you have a budget? Where did this money come from?
From some of the house parties. From the
Okay,
house
so you
parties.
were a good guy. You were saving your money.
Yeah.
You had a plan. You knew what you wanted to do, and then you made a phone call.
Yes. And when they said yes, you know, there were some other DJs from LA
Okay.
who wanted to take that spot and take it away from me. The only reason I got them, I do remember, now that I recall, we're talking about it.
Okay.
I sent them the money order real quick, and at the end, those guys from LA's lost out on it. Just because
So
I sent them money
did
first.
they? You know how promoters are.
Yes.
Did they overhear that you were going to do something and try to jump you,
Yeah.
or not jump you, meaning, but jump ahead of you because they
Right.
knew you were doing something, or was it just by chance?
No, they heard that I was going to get them, and they were trying to get ahead of. They called them. They actually called the producers from
After you did.
After I did.
Okay.
And they tried to get them, but I already sent the money, and they told them they can't do it because they already got the contract with me.
Okay. So can I ask how much that that money order was when you sent
You know, it wasn't that much because remember, I don't think I only had them for a half hour. If I can remember,
half an hour?
Yeah, I had them for a half hour.
Okay. So how many songs did they sing?
Not many.
Okay, so they rolled up. Were they doing multiple stops that night, or was it just your show?
No, multiple stops. They came to my stop first. They came in a limousine. You know,
Okay.
they came all.
Was that at your dollar?
Yes.
Okay, so you had to pay for the limo.
Yeah, I had to pay for the limo. I had to pay where the hotel they were staying at.
And,
And,
I'm a curious guy. Because, I'm trying to do this so we can record all this history that happened in LA. Because I think we have a lot of traffic through here with great guys. And it seems like we're losing all these stories, right? So, what hotel did they stay at?
if I remember, that's funny. But if I remember, it was at the Hilton.
At the Hilton.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so you, not the flight, they paid for their own flight.
No.
No.
We paid. I think I went half on the flight with the other promoter from LA.
Okay. So you guys paid for the hotel. The limo was on you.
Yeah.
And they showed up half an hour, 3 or 4, what is it, what's 4 or 5 songs?
Yeah,
They play the hits,
Yeah,
right?
they play their hits. Yeah.
Okay. And then Pack House?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the first time somebody from that recording artist that big came to the Valley. I mean, that big.
Okay. And was
Jaime brought in Cover Girls, Sweet Sensation, Expose, J.D. Hall. Who else can you think of that?
What are those guys called? Who's the Diamond Girl?
Oh, Nice and Wild.
Nice and Wild. They put a good show on.
so how nervous were you that night?
I was just nervous that I wanted to make my money back because I was a young kid.
Okay.
We not sure if I was going to get the crowd because of our expenses we had. But once you saw the crowd and the vibe, the energy, made my money. I think it was going to be real good.
Okay.
Or you want to keep talking, or you want to?
Well, let's stop and then we'll continue.
We'll take a
Hey,
pause.
brother, thank you for joining us, brother.
worries,
I
man. No
appreciate it,
worries.
my
It's all
brother. I
good. It's all
appreciate
good.
it.
We're going to
Thank
take
you.
a pause. We'll come back. We're going to set everything up. Peebo is jumping on, so we're going to be back with Silver in the mix.
Okay. We'll be back right now.